Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. It is your boy Widgie here, switching in for Riot and Jaeger as well. He is here, and he's just going to be with us in the next minute or so. So I'm sure he'll be coming back and saying hello as well. We are switching it up to Warsword versus Ungas in this semi-final of the Kings of the Old World. And I'm pretty hyped that I'm here. Apologies that I was not here earlier. I had some issues I had to deal personally, but that is all dealt with. So I'm here now, ready to go. And it looks like the first matchup is an interesting one already. Straight off the bat, we have Italy versus Italy. Wow, fantastic. I don't think I've actually really seen this. The last time I saw a matchup like this was probably when Italy and Malta were released and everyone was just playing Italy-Malta. So there's a lot of things going on with Italy, a lot of posts on ESOC and stuff like that with the current strategy. So we know that one of the strategies is like a semi-FI. Also, a semi-FF is another option as well. I think they're a fantastic civilization that can have so many different options and openings. And when you put those two civilizations in a mirror matchup, then it's going to be something very unusual. But it looks like the first map is, of course, going to be Wallachia here, if that's pronounced correctly. Probably not. We're going to be jumping into that one straight away. And let's kick it. Let's do this. So we can see on the south side of the map in the red, we have Warsword. And the north side of the map, we have Ungas playing in the blue as Italy. Both players playing as Italy, of course. And I've got to say, Ungas, one of the most sort of well-developed players over the time of Definitive Edition. The most improved, I would say. Sort of coming up from around 1600 ELO, I remember back in the days, and now we see him in the semi-finals of one of the largest tournaments for AoE3. It's pretty insane. So, and of course we have Warsword, and I've got to say, Warsword, a player that, you know, I don't really know a great deal about. I've seen a few of his casted games. I've casted a few myself, so it's going to be interesting. But he is, of course, part of the FPLC. Big up FPLC clan, of course. It's fantastic to see. So what are we going to be seeing here? We're going to be seeing Warsword opening with the good old market start, getting those techs in, of course, to get your villagers. If you guys are new to AoE and you just stumbled across it and you're looking at it and you're like, what the hell? What's Italy? Never seen that before. Italy, they're an interesting civ. They have unique buildings and units. And one of the interesting things about them is that you have an architect unit. And of course, every eco-tech that you use, you get a villager. So it's really, really crucial that in the first sort of stage of the game, you get around 4 or 5 eco upgrades, depending, of course, on the situation and what kind of treasures you get. So it looks like Jaeger's back in. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm all good. And looks
stuff.
like we have the Italy mirror on Wallachia.
Indeed.
One of those matchups that you don't see often, but then we have already seen Italy doing the water booming on this map, so guess we'll see it again.
It's an interesting one. The water boom I haven't seen a great deal, but this map offers it quite well because you have the pool of water on the right there, so it really encourages players to try and get on the water if they can. But looking at the deck here, of course, of Warsword, we do definitely see some water cards in there. We've got the 2 caravels in H2. We've got the frigate in H3 as well. And it looks more of a anti-water deck, so not full commitment. I can't really see that in Warsword's deck. And he is going for the coin trickle, the capitalism card, very standard first card to go for. And yeah, it's interesting to see.
Yeah, and I wonder what's the other side. Look like on the other side we have the, well, more or less the same as well, anti-water deck. Seem like both of them were just expecting the other just to go water booming, but apparently that's not the case. But other than that, there are just few shipment difference between Ungers and Warsword. Especially on H3 with the Pay Vizier and 1000 wood. I believe Warsword had the different shipments on H3, but it's more or less the same deck.
Yeah, I think there's lots of as I say, as I mentioned at the start, there are lots of different ways that Italy can go here, and especially in a mirror, it's going to be very interesting to see. You know, you can do H2 play. You can kind of go for like a mass musketeer with a few Pavizias as well. As I say, you can go for a semi FF play. You can go for more of a timing attack with certain mercenary shipments, such as the Broken Lance and stuff like that. So there's plenty to play for. But what I find that's interesting is Uncas has actually gone for a TP. I don't know if his architect is actually building that TP. I imagine that it is. That's one of the things that you can do. Yep. So sometimes when you see that, that can sometimes mean a semi FF kind of style play when you do go for the TP. And we can see Warsword hasn't done that as of yet. So not too sure just yet. Still very unclear what both players are going to do here.
Meanwhile, Warsword managed to pick off Ungar's Explorer and got that sweet 45 XP for the early stage of the game. And then now Ungars doesn't have the Explorer to scout, which will be bad for him. And Warsword will be able to scout his opponent in a better and more efficient way. And I guess it just depends on what's their plan on H2. It looked like, did I see Warsword training Architect on H2? Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, so going for an early architect there, so potentially going quite greedy with that. I'm not entirely sure. It's an interesting thing for me. I'm not 100% accustomed to Italy. I haven't played them in a long time myself, so but seeing that is kind of an unusual thing to see. I do see, however, that Ungas, we can see that we have Vils on gold. We have a TP on the way, and it looks like he's just gone for the I believe that's the governor age up that he's gone for. Gold is down and an outpost is down. So, and then straight off the bat going in with the Uffizi, which is the Basilica sort of wagon that you get, and you get sorry, no, you get a Lombard, don't you? That's it. You get a Lombard,
Oh
and
god,
they get the trickle as well. And we can see loads of architects now being queued up.
Double Architect, yeah. So that's gonna be 3 Architect. That's, I would say, greedy, but at the same time, I'm 100% sure that that will pay off.
Yeah, we can already see that Warsword has gone for 2 Lombards as well. So there's different plays that, you know, Italian players can go. A lot of people like to sometimes stick on just 2 Lombards. Seems to be a good number to go on. But other players go more greedy and they actually max out their Lombards so they can just get that trickle in as soon as possible. Get that conversion rate coming in as soon as.
Yeah, and he's sending the 700 Lombard shipment on H2, and then you're gonna, as soon as you get that, it's gonna get 700 gold inside his Lombard alongside a Lombard wagon, and that will be really good. Look like one architect is building a Lombard, the other one is building a Basilica. And
Yeah,
on
it
the
looks
other
like
side, yeah, Ungars is just going ham with the architects.
Yeah, so it looks like he's really investing, and I think that's what helped with his outpost. So obviously, Lombards don't just only cost wood; they cost gold as well. So getting the governor age up with the 200 gold, also having his Vils mining that gold so early as well, has helped him boost the Lombards up pretty quickly. And I think we're going to be seeing that there. And he's already got 3 up at the back there, and it looks like Warsword is actually gone for double Basilica as well. So there's going to be a lot of XP trickle coming in for him as well, because they're essentially a church and they provide an XP trickle. We don't see any TP from Warsword, but it looks like he's on a good food and gold macro. I'm feeling like potentially there could be a 700 gold coming in. He's got a card ready to go, but he's not selecting it just yet. He's gone to H3. And he's feeling pretty good. This is a very interesting way to go H3. I haven't seen this before myself. So
It's really interesting, like, that both sides are utilizing the architect. Ungars is having 3 architect, Warsword is having 2 architect. I guess if Forcer doesn't execute the basically the additional architect that Ungers has, I feel that will pay off for Ungers very well, because the additional architect means he will be investing less time into buildings for free, because architects, that's the bonus of them, they build buildings for free. I mean, of course you can pay for the building to set them up faster, but then for a free price, basically, you can build with the architects. And then seem like Ungers is just enjoying himself with the three architects.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. So we do now see, that Ungers has got into H3 himself, and he's going for the card that provides 1,500 gold into your Lombards. So it's kind of like, you could say, an upgrade of the Monte de Piata card, which is the one he's already got in there in H2. And he's got another card available now. And this is looking like an FI here. I'm getting that feeling he's got that food stacking up, the gold stacking up. And that card coming in right now is going to give him some really good food and wood conversion, because he's going to be putting 1,500 coin into his Lombards now, which is going to really help with his macro. It's going to help with his techs of his military units, also any houses in the future as well. So looking really good, and I'm feeling an age up coming on very shortly for Ungers here.
It's interesting that the both sides are, well, more or less the same score, more or less have the same buildings, and it's just the different layouts of the buildings that they have. They both have a TP there as well, and meanwhile, Warsword is sending the Advanced Lombard card, which helps him to collect the resources, well, rather convert the investment which is being done into the Lombards faster. So it's double the resources that he will get from the Lombards, which is really good.
Yeah, so it looks like, as I say, both. I think Warsword is ahead here slightly in the age up at the moment. But I feel, he's got a Vil Q there, so he's about to start to get in himself. So yeah, Warsword slightly ahead. Looks like both opponents have actually got absolutely no military. You can see at the top there, that bar is completely black. So there's no military on both sides at all. Yeah, so both sides kind of anticipating how both would play, and they're playing pretty much exactly the same, but slightly different, but still getting to the same kind of goal, which is getting to an industrial. And with industrial comes some really, really strong military shipments, as well as the Bersagliere, if I've pronounced that correctly. The skirmish unit has a little trumpet and will stun units as well. That's quite a popular military unit to get on H4, as well, with the papal bombards and stuff like that. So looks like we're going to be having some H4 action very shortly.
Look like Ungers is already queuing a papal guard from the Basilica, and that's a really good choice, I would say, by him, because I believe he knows that as soon as he gets to H4, and I mean, with the current flow, he knows that Warsword is also going to H4. So those papal lancers will be really helping him to deal with the Berserkliers, which I believe on both sides we're gonna see that unit the most. So it's gonna be mostly the Berserkliers on both sides.
Yeah, that's probably going to be one of the main staples of both of their compositions. We do see an artillery foundry down now for Ungers. He's got his Falks out, and he is ready to go. This is gonna get quite nasty quite quickly. We do see the financiers, and I think that's a 3,000 coin investment into the Lombards, which is an insane amount of food and wood transfer over time. So he's going to be looking pretty good for his macro, and we can now see some of the Bersagliers coming out, guarded upgrade, of course, running around with their 5 movement speed. And we do now see from Warsaw bringing in a factory, just improving his eco even further. And the score is, it's absolutely neck and neck. They've done it a different way. They've both got to H4, and it's just going to come down to decent micro and exchanges here.
Falconers are reaching to each other.
And that is
Almost.
exactly what I meant about micro.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that was a mini shot, I would say. But now, I mean, there's no way you can run away from the calls.
Yeah, Unga's doing a good job there, dropping down that artillery foundry as well, I think, in his base, so that he made sure that he had the Falcons. We can clearly see from all the cards that Warsword has gotten out so far, it is just pure eco, pure greed, and hopefully that's going to pay off for him in the long run here.
Wonder which one gonna go with the advanced arsenal sooner, because I believe that's one of the card that can give the other side the edge and the advantage over the other, because not only you can get the upgrades for your military units, but also you can get the free settler from each tech that you take from the arsenal.
Yeah, definitely. And as I say, we can see all of the big cards coming in. That's the Kolv shipment coming in for Ungas, along with the Papal Bombards as well. So there's going to be a ton of artillery coming in very shortly. Warsword himself putting down an artillery foundry as well. So it's always this classic age-old thing with AoE3, which is the artillery micro. It's one of the hardest things to kind of master, especially with Kolvs and unpacking and packing up. And we're going to see it here, and it's really something that you need to master. It takes a very long time to get good at it, and that's what we're seeing Warsword now, unpacking his Kolvs, edging them forward, seeing if he can get a cheap shot. And he's going to be slightly unfortunate there, losing one Kolv and potentially a second. But look at all the Kolvs coming up now. That's mad. There's a lot coming in.
Usually when the Colts get into a position like this in treaty, it's the best position to punish them, because if you make a double shot on one of them, when you see them, they walk into a building, it's just like two of them are packing. So in that position, you can just take a two shot and basically snipe two Colts at the same time. So that's the best position to cut them off.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. We do see Warsaw's main army on the left here, but it's going to lose two more Falcons there. Unga's once again doing a great job with just getting into the perfect range. Another one goes down now for Warsword, and he is looking pretty good. Unga's just needs to try and clear up all of those Kolvs, so he can then feel free to start moving in with his Falconets. And we do see some Lancers trying to getting stuck in here. And here we go. The Bassaglia just going to be raining down upon the Lancers here, just clearing them up as quickly as possible so Ungas can move on through. He's got the Dragoons there ready as well. And he's just going to be moving forward ever so slightly, taking down the outpost and onto the Lombards, it seems.
It seems like the pressure is on. And, well, we just saw the advanced arsenal for Basilica card just dropped by. So now the Basilica shipments will be arriving faster, and on top of that, the Basilican units will be getting a charge attack, which will be really useful against some of the units.
Indeed, we do see now that it's pretty much, as I mentioned, it's the score difference has vastly changed. However, we can see at the top here, Ungas' military might 117 against 33 here, and villagers are neck and neck, but you can see a score difference of 10k here. More Kolvs coming on the way for Ungas here, and Warsword in a sticky situation, and those Falcons just going to be popping off there into the Bassaglias. More going down, and more reinforcing Bassaglia there from Ungas as well. And Warsword needs those bombards. He's got another shipment coming on the way before that, and he needs something right now. He needs to wait for the perfect opportunity, and the opportunity is definitely not right now. And there it is.
It was the GG first. That was
Ungas taking the first game.
That was nice. That was some really nice cool micro by Ungas, I would say. Like, I believe he had 4 Kolvs against 6 Kolvs that Warsword had, but he just made a really nice trade with those, and then eventually he just forced Warsaw to idle his Falconist like for a long time. I
Yeah,
can
it's
see
really,
like
really
everything
impressive.
is really close.
Yeah, as I said, like I think they did a roughly same kind of opening, just a slightly different way to get to the same goal, which was to get to industrial. And you can see that the power of Italy and how quick you can get there. And then the issue is that the Lombards can convert so quickly when you have so many of them, and especially if you're going to be getting the cards out, such as the 1500 coin card and then the Financier 3000 gold coin card in H4. It's just an insane amount of wood and food that's on offer, and that can just help get your infrastructure down. It can help you get even more Falcon X Colves, and yeah, we saw it there. Unga's just doing a great job with his micro there for his artillery and taking the win.
Now we will be moving on into the next game, and currently we're just waiting for them to decide their civilization and also wait for the game to show up at the same time.
Yeah, so the second game is going to be on Hungarian plains. So that's the one where sort of in the northwest, both sides kind of have a trade post or trade line. It's only 2 TPs though each. So a lot of the time, players will like to get a stagecoach on their side, and that looks to be the map that we're going to be rolling with in the second game here. And it looks like Ungas, is going to be going for Lakota. And it looks like Warsaw going with Inca. So
Oh, all right.
a
I already
fantastic
know, I
native.
think, what's coming from Warsaw.
What do you
Yeah,
think's
I mean, you
coming?
already mentioned it, so I believe it's gonna be native rush with those, especially those natives in Hungarian plain. We have seen that quite often. Like any map that has the House of Jagelon, it's really good to go with the native rush if you have like Inca or French, which makes the strat viable. So it's just gonna go with the native American allies as the first card, well, second card of Inca, and then basically goes with the native treaties as soon as he gets the native post. Usually they will go for the House of Jagelon because you get the Shark Rider and Lipka Tatar, but then I believe those units will be really good against Lakota.
We're just going to see how it goes. It's a tough one. It's something that I struggle with against. It's one of the most powerful. Obviously, it's map dependent on what kind of natives you have,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
it's one of the strongest rushes in the game still to this date. So if that is going to be the choice of Warsaw, which we most likely think it's going to be, we never know. But if it is going to be the choice, then it's going to be a very, very tough fight for Ungas here. He's going to have to play quite defensively and see if he can hold. If he holds, then he's got the game. If he can hold it, defeat it, he'll be looking pretty good. So let's see how this one goes. So on the south side of the map, of course, we have Warsaw here playing as Inca in the red, and he's nabbing a TP straight away, which is always nice to see. And in the north part of the map, we have Ungas playing as Lakota in the blue.
Yeah, and well, for those who missed the previous patch, or well, the current patch which they were playing in, Lakota was nerfed, so the starting wood was reduced to 100 instead of 200. So what was, I would say, it was really solid and strong on the previous patch on Lakota was the 200 wood, so you could start with the trade post right away and then just chop for the TP, and then that was obviously a really good start with Lakota. But now it's nerfed, and as you can see, Ungos is chopping for the trade post, I believe. So he's going for the trade post and no TPs. And also the TP itself was nerfed. So uh, the economy boost from the TP was 12%, now is 10%, I believe.
It looks like he is getting down a TP, though. He did shop for the 50 wood there, so he's probably put that right next to his town center.
Yeah.
And there it is, just heard it pop up. So that's going to be giving him that that extra eco boost. Definitely something that still needs to be built, even though it's been nerfed. It's definitely something that needs to be put in there. That's exactly what he's doing, so that's good to see. And he's going for the 3-vil. Very standard sort of first card to go for. And yeah, I think he just needs to play defensive here. I mean, he knows the match here. We can see, just having a look at Unga's deck here, very sort of standard deck. There's nothing that sort of jumps out to me. There's a few changes here and there, but obviously in H4, got some of the stronger cards there. The 21 unit card, of course, and the Akichita card. So sort of pretty straightforward, really. Got some unit shipments there that he's probably going to need if he needs to try and defend this native rush. But yeah, looking pretty straightforward.
Yeah, and on the other side of Warsword, we have, as I've said, so first card is always the Settler, second card Native American, which he's sending at the moment, and then as soon as he hit age 2, he will be shopping in transition for the trade post. Usually, I would say the House of Yagelan is better on a matchup like this, which is Lakota, so you can get the Lipka Tatars and the Shock Rider. But I guess we will see what will be his decision on that, and then after that he will send the native treaties, and he will get a bunch of natives for free, basically.
Yeah, and as I say, something to also mention is the fact that, you know, with this kind of, there's quite a lot of tempo in the early sort of part of the game with the native rush, but it can easily fizzle out if you can defend well. So Ungas has really got to be on the defensive here, and he's got to play a really strong game defending in his TC, because there is going to be a push, most likely at around between 6 or 7 minutes. There's going to be something coming his way, and he's got to deal with it.
So Christian has donated $10, and he asked, just found out about this tournament. Is there an AoE 3 tournament in the Red Bull Legacy? Sadly, no. So currently, at least for this year, there is no AoE tournament for the Red Bull Legacy. So hopefully for next year, we will be finding our way into there. But yeah, for the time being, we are having the current tournament, which is sponsored by Tech Cafe and also Microsoft itself.
Fingers crossed. We'll see. We'll see how this goes, and hopefully the gods will look down upon us, and we shall have something even bigger and better next year for you guys.
Exactly.
So yeah, we can see the age up on the way now for Warsword, and he's going to be grabbing a second TP, and I assume that's just going to help with tempo, just to get further cards in. He needs to keep getting the unit shipments in, and really just, you know, pressure Ungas as much as possible. So it kind of makes sense what he's going for. But what I think is quite good, just to explain to the audience, Jaeger, about these TPs that he's picked. What unit composition is he going to get? You mentioned about the Tatars and the shock cavalry. Do you want to elaborate that a bit further?
So basically, the Lipka Tatar is a cavalry archer. So they have low rate of fire, lower HP compared to a regular cavalry archer, but they are H2 unit. So that makes sense on them. But then their low rate of fire makes them really strong. So if they are just standing still without any unit hitting them, they will be pulling out some magic. On the other hand, the Shock Rider is a cavalry unit with charge ability. So it's a really solid unit, really scary unit. And you can use it to counter infantry, counter cavalry. It's a really solid unit. And at the same time, with the Native American ally, which he got from the Inca home city itself, you will be ideally going with the Zapotecs, and then train Zapotecs. As you can see, he's massing them, and at the same time send the Native treaty, and basically you will be getting a bunch of shipment from all of these, which is the Zapotecs, the House of Yagelan, and he got the House of Habsburg as well. So he gonna get a shipment of line mounted infantry, which is range cavalry that counter infantry, and also
Yep.
line infantry, which is basically a musketeer unit.
Yeah, we can see all of that is now coming in. I did say between 6 or 7 minutes, but of course, Warsword getting in there just before it even gets into 6 minutes, and he is just right-clicking that TC. He's not waiting around for anything else, and we see Chimu runners are going to be coming out. They're going to be trying to pick off any vills if Ungus has any lying around that's outside of his TC. If we can have a quick check on Ungus and see if there's any cards that he's getting in. He is actually getting into age 3. And that's kind of wild, kind of risky, I would say.
Yeah.
And there it is.
There's the Shawnee. I mean, it was kind of expected.
Kind of risky is definitely an understatement there. I'm not too sure what Ungus was expecting there. Was he expecting that Warsword wouldn't pull that off very quickly? Going for the FF there, I think, was a little bit too much. I think he should have just stuck in H2, to be honest.
Exactly. I mean, to be fair, I've tried this myself as well. Like, I've tried to mass some infantry against this rush as Lakota.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back.
It's impossible, to be fair, especially on a map like this where you get like cavalry, you get musketeer, you get anti-cav, you get basically every possible unit that you need to just roll over your opponent.
Yeah, I mean, the age up time was pretty impressive. People in chat saying Ungus did a pretty impressive age up time. I don't know if he actually skipped any Vil creation there to even get up quicker, because that is an impressive age 3 time. Even if it's a naked FF, like that is really impressive getting there at like 6 minutes 30. But I think his plan was obviously to try and get some age 3 units, especially the rifle riders.
Rider, yeah.
Yeah, to try and deal with the heavy infantry. He could definitely kite them, but I'm not too sure. The problem is that even if he had those units, those Warsword's units would have just still been sieging the TC, and by the time he could even deal with the army, he would have lost his TC, potentially Vils as well, with the Chibi runners coming in as well. It's not a good one. I think what he probably should have maybe done is gone for like a war hutting base, and then just got a few unit shipments in H2 and just try to fight it, try to deal with it, and hopefully get the upper hand. But unfortunately, that did not happen, and Warsword takes the second game. So now it is 1-1 at the moment, and we'll be moving on to the third game very shortly. And looks like we already have the civs, don't we? So Jaeger, what do you think about this? We got Malta playing and French.
And this is gonna be on the map Perpet Marches. So this is one of those maps which I'm not really fancying, because it's just due to the fact of the marches itself in the middle. So you really can't expand, you really can't go back, you really can't apply pressure. So it all comes down to the point where whatever you do, just do it all together, mass units, and then just do an all in. So your opponent can easily get a free stagecoach. Basically, there is 2 trade posts on each side. So I guess French can do that easily. Same goes for Malta, but Malta still is heavy on the German tongue. So if you go on German tongue, then the stagecoach will be obviously delayed a bit further. But then it's a really good matchup. And again, this is one of those maps where you can do the native rush as French on this map.
Yeah, it's something. Yeah, that's definitely a good point as well. Yeah, the native rush with the French is definitely something to. It's a very underrated strategy to go, and it's obviously incredibly map dependent. But I'll be very interested to see how this one plays out. So, of course, on the bottom part of the map here, south side of the map, we have Warsword playing as the Maltese in the red. And at the top part of the map, we have Ungus playing as the French in the blue. So I know that Ungus plays the French quite a bit. I've seen a lot of his French play. A lot of people saying in chat we're going to be seeing that Skirm Goon coming out in age 3. But on the other hand, the Malta the Maltese, sorry, have an incredible crossbow units, great value for money, and it can get kind of out of hand. And there's many ways that it can be played. You could be seeing an aggressive H2, perhaps, especially with bow pike. That can be quite a tricky one to try and deal with.
Yeah, exactly. I guess it just turns down to the deck that they will choose on each side, and then we can after that we can see what's their strat for this game. So it's gonna be either Pike Expo Rush for Malta, or it's gonna be Native Rush for French, or it's just gonna be pure Skirm Goon, as the chat said.
Yeah. So looking at this deck, it seems relatively ordinary deck. Nothing unusual here once again. Got a nice Jaeger shipment there in H3. But apart from that, doesn't seem to be anything that's sort of popping out that says there's going to be a strange off the wall strategy.
Yeah.
And
as for Malta,
we have a deck called Izad I Love You. Fantastic. Big ups to Izad there.
All right. So this looks like the crossbow and pike rush. For H2, double wood shipment on H2. Also the trip to Jerusalem card there as well. So yeah, it's gonna be H1 pike mass on H2, and maybe following with the Irish musketeers.
Yeah, the Irish Brigadiers, yeah. Kind of an interesting shipment there. The first time I was learning Maltese, I went for that card thinking that they were basically good against cavalry, and they're not. They're basically a heavy infantry card that isn't necessarily good against cav. So cav can actually sort of clean them up quite a bit. It's a very strange shipment. They have high damage, though. Very high base damage. So they're very good. It's a very good card for early in the game. If you want to do like a timing attack, we can definitely see going up the quartermaster. And it seems that even though people do early pressure in H2 with Malta with the bow pike, people still like to go the German tongue. I think that's becoming quite a standard opening now, is to go for the 3-vil German tongue and then kind of adapt to how you want to play. Seems to be quite a general thing now that players are doing Malta.
I mean, it's a good value for the shipment. You get 2 settler wagon, which is obviously amazing, and you get a commandery post as well, which can be used defensively and offensively. Usually, will be used defensively, and then obviously the commandery post will help your will stack with the wing court construction card. So basically, you can just have a economy boost next to the commandery as well, and at the same time train more settler wagon. So yeah, I guess that's a really good value.
Indeed. And we can see that, obviously, just to have a little look at what Ungus is doing, he went for the market start. He's getting the text now as he gets into H2, and we're going to be seeing what he went for. I'm not too sure whether it was the quartermaster. Most of the time it is. Let's just have a look. Just about to get in. And yep, looks like it's the quartermaster. So 400 wood coming in and going for 4 CDBs, it seems. So very sort of standard, straightforward opening. Nothing unusual. And I wonder if we're going to see a stables. I was about to say it, and there it is. So it looks like it's going to be a Huss opening for Ungus here. Is it going to be a semi-FF?
I believe it
Most
will
likely.
be. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's quite a good thing to do against Warsword here. It depends how he's going to play this. Obviously, the German tongue card is here. Market's coming down. He's still got Vils on wood. And, of course, the Wignacore is coming in. So not as aggressive as we would hope. I don't think he's built any hospitals yet on the map. So haven't got any hospitals, which is essentially the barracks version for the Maltese. Don't see any of that just yet.
It seems like he's training the settler wagons as usual. His TC is idle. I wonder if he's microing for anything, or I guess he just didn't notice. But 4 hussars are coming in from French. It's gonna be a really nice raid for him, considering there is no hospitals from Maltese, and he can't train the goons either. So those 5 hussars from French could go and make some good value with the raids. I mean, if you manage to get a settler wagon or even 2 settlers, that will be huge.
Yeah, and we can see here we got a classic semi-FF here coming from Ungas. Guys, if you want to do a semi-FF as French, this is the way to do it. You open up with the 5 hus, straight off the bat, you get your 700 gold, and you are ready to start to macro to get into age 3, and that's exactly what is happening right now. And he's going to just try and sort of see if he can get a pick off. He's not being successful just yet, but he is suspending that eco, which is always a nice thing to do. And just going to be damaging as many of the vills as possible. Warsaw doing a good job, just making sure it doesn't make any casualties here. You do not want to lose a vill here. It's so crucial in this high stakes here to not lose any vills.
So on that raid, he lost a hussar, but at the same time, he managed to bring down few settlers to almost 1 HP. So I guess that could help him for the next raids, or even possibly for the next push that he gets into this into his base. But then I believe he's going for H3 at the moment, and he got the stagecoach as well.
Yeah, so we do now see, of course, Warsword going for the 700 coin as well, and he's getting steel traps in to help with his food as well. So it looks like he's in the same boat as well, but he is going to be quite behind now, because I bet you if we switch over to Ungas, he's definitely going to be aging right now, or very close to. I've got a feel. Yeah, there it is. We're already halfway through. Warsword a little bit behind here, but he does have the Wigner Court, which he went for, of course, and the maxing his settler wagons as well. So if you look at the eco graph, it's 31 to 22 for Warsaw. So he does have more of the eco advantage, but he's had to delay his age up. So he's probably going to get some pressure that he's going to try and struggle to deal with here. And it's going to be interesting to see how he does it. We see the 2 Falks from Ungas. So there's going to be a push at some point very soon. And we just got to see how Warsaw can deal with that, as he's getting into H3 very shortly too.
That was a really nice trade by Warsword, picking off those hussars. So he already took out 3 hussars, and without losing any. That was really good. Good move by him. But at the same time, Ungar's is already on H3, and the Falconet is coming in. But I believe Ungar's should be making some anti-cav at the same time, because there is 8 hussars hungry for the Falconets to pick them off.
Yeah, and we can see actually there that Warsword recently, his latest card that he actually got was the cheaper upgrades in H3, which is really nice. So I believe that card increases the speed of your age up from H2 to 3, and it also halves the cost of any sort of unit upgrades as well, which is really, really nice. That's a very underrated
only the hospital units,
Yeah, the hospital units, yeah. So if he wants to go for the crossbow, then he can easily get that upgrade. Same with the sentries as well. So it's a very nice card. We can see that, Ungas, he's going for it. As people said in chat, we see the Dragoons coming out on the field. And it's only going to be a matter of time before we see some skirms as well.
No, the hussars are approaching the Falconets.
And there's not enough Dragoons there to be able to deal with it. And what are they going to do? They're going to try and squeeze past. They are going to.
Yeah, both of the Falcons are going down.
That is very unfortunate.
Yeah,
He's going to be able to get them 2 Falconets gone. But he did. I know that's 2 Falconets, but he basically lost like 8 hussars there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's still got 2 alive, so yeah, that's 6 hussars for 2 Falcons. I guess that's worth it, considering he was just transitioning into H3. I guess that's.
And we can see some fire throws coming out as well. That's going to be the next card for Warsword, and he's got some. I think, if I can pronounce it correctly, it's the Hospitalers.
Yeah,
the Hospitalers, interesting unit, similar to kind of like a DOPS from the Germans, but
Germany.
they also help to absorb damage as well. So that's something that's quite interesting that not a lot of people know and quite underrated. Good to have a few of those in your composition just to help out.
Yeah, these units with the deflection ability has been added since the most recent DLC, which is the Knight of the Mediterranean. So these hospitals are one of those, so they can absorb uh, some of the damage from your nearby units and basically make your nearby unit tankier in terms of siege, range, and melee resistance, which is really good.
Yeah, we can see that we've got pretty much just, as we mentioned, we have a Dragoon shipment on the way now. We've got the Cuirassiers have come out now for Ungers. And Warsaw needs to be careful. He doesn't want to lose his 5 throws to the Cuirassiers. That will be quite devastating. I don't know if Warsaw has any other troops on the field. He has got some Sentinels on the way as well. He's got Hussars. So he's really going all out with the composition here. 3 different unit types. And it's always nice to see the 5 throwers on the field. It's always nice to see that unit coming out and being showcased.
Yeah, the unit I feel is a really kind of underrated unit because they can put up some good work if they are being defended. But then, well, that's not the case here. As we can see, the gendarme is doing decent amount of damage to them. And
yeah, just needs to be a little bit careful there. Losing his Hussars, threw away quite a few Hussars there, Warsaw to the Dragoons, and he just needs to make sure that his fire throwers are protected with his Sentinels. We've got a depot coming up now as well, and that's a very interesting building. 50 wood, 50 gold to build, and you can manually explode it, which will do some area damage to any units, so yours and also the enemies. But it does provide a bonus, and we can see a bonus to military units in the surrounding area.
yeah, the nearby gunpowder military units will get their attack speed reduced, which is good, obviously.
And we can see, looks like archaic combat is on the way as well for Warsword. So are we going to be seeing? We're seeing a nice little switch here. So went from Sentinel to Fire Thrower, going straight into Crossbow Dragoon, it seems now, is going to be the way forward. And I thought that might be the case at some point. I think the crossbows, having crossbows in your composition as Malta, it's like a go-to. They're so good. They've got great upgrades and just great cost efficiency as well.
Yeah. Like, it's not just that, it's also the fact that all of the Maltese units are 2 pop except for the crossbows and the pikes. So at the same time, it provides you additional pop for either military or economy unit that you want to train, so you don't have to really force yourself to build more houses, which is good.
We can see just further crossbows on the way, going for that switch up. And looking at the score, relatively close. Malta still have the eco lead, 43 to 34. Military's pretty split and already massing those crossbows so quickly there with the eco. It's an interesting amount of eco. He's got like nearly 1,000 coin coming up here right now, Warsword. So I'm not too sure what he's going to be using that for. I was about to say there's probably a unit shipment, and there is, and I can't see that unit shipment. I'm not too sure what that one is. He's gone for 1,000 coin he spent on it. It's the Pandors. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's the Pandors. Yeah. That's going to be a really good unit against skirmishers, because I mean that's what the unit counters, so they can shred light infantry, which, well, for this case is the skirmisher.
Yeah, so it's going to be fantastic, and it's just going to wait for the right opportunity here. And I think Malta do so well with both crossbows and Pandors, and they just trade so well with Skirm and Goon. So it's a real tricky matchup for French if French do go Skirm Goon, which is what we see from Ungers here. The Dragoons, there's not going to be much there for them to be effective. Whereas Warsword here with these mass crossbows and Pandors at the moment are going to be doing a great job. And they have just popped a beautiful time and it's going to be the time that he's going to want to commit and get on top of that. He's also popped his militia as well coming out of the TC, and he's going to be on it right now. He needs to get a snare, though, to see if he can try and clear up these skirms. And the hoop thrower is doing a good job as well.
It's a really nice mass on Malta's side. If you take a look at the unit comp.
Yeah, fantastic. Really, really nice. Great card as well to have an H3. Something that I might actually put in my Malta deck. The Pandor. Very, very nice. And Unga's there getting a little bit scared of that and just backing off for now.
Yeah. I guess what Ungar's can do at the moment is just the gendarme mass, and then, I mean, because he heard it earlier, and he's going for it.
Yeah, those cuirassiers getting stuck in there, and yeah, this is the unfortunate moment. There doesn't seem to be a huge amount of anti-cav available, and that's like 8 or 9 cuirassiers coming down, and the dragoons are going to be helping out. And oh my god, Warsaw, what are you doing to get back?
That's the clutch.
Warsaw, did he not know that they were there? He should have been backing off.
Oh my god.
And
They
he's going to
got
be losing
melted. They got melted by those gendarmes, and there goes the
Oh.
GG. Wow, that was a really nice bait. That was a really, really nice bait.
I like that. That was a good game. There was good games. There were multiple switches. So Warsaw going in for that cheeky switch kind of went for a sentinel sort of fire thrower play, and then he completely switched quickly. Did a complete 180, went into crossbows and then a few dragoons, and thought with the Pandora shipment, great pop from the TC, great timing, being able to really push Unga's back. But Unga's just knowing when those Pandos are going to come out, already had planned that he was going to have a bunch of cuirassiers to try and deal with it. And just fantastic clear up. And I don't think Warsaw was expecting that and didn't really react or try and retreat, just kind of faced the cuirassiers with his light infantry and got absolutely wiped out there. So fantastic play by Ungas.
Yeah, that was a really nice bait by Ungar's. It was really good timing, and I would say it was kind of a blunder as well from Warsword's side, because I mean, you make a mass of light infantries. I mean, he had what, like the fire throwers, he had the panders, he had the crossbows. He didn't really have that many anti-cav, so that was just wide open to a melee cav push. Well played.
Yeah, it was absolutely insane. Really, really entertaining game to watch. And we'll be getting into the next game very, very shortly.
So once again, guys, thanks to each and every one of you for being there inside the chat. I hope everyone is enjoying their time. We are currently sitting at $9,066 for the prize pool of this tournament. Hopefully, with some donation and the subscriptions, which will be done through ESOC, we will be able to get this up to $10,000 prize pool. And then, of course, a big shout out to Tech Cafe and Microsoft for sponsoring this tournament and making this happen.
Indeed. Got to say thank you for everyone also, of course, in chat, watching, trying to anticipate what strats people are going to go. And it's very entertaining to watch chat as I'm also casting as well. So don't worry. If you guys think that we're not watching, we definitely are. So if there's anything that you guys pick up in chat, we'll be sure to let everyone else know if there is anything crazy.
Yeah. Someone is asking how old is Ungus.
How old is Ungus?
Yeah, I believe
Fantastic.
I mean, he look around.
He looks. I think. Yeah,
18?
I think 17. Yeah, 17, 18. Yeah, definitely. Still a huge amount of potential within a strategy game. Only being that kind of age, there's still plenty of development further. and a very talented player. And it's quite clear to see, turning up into the semi-finals and being able to nab 2 games off of Warsword already, sitting at 2-1. It's pretty awesome to see. But it looks like Uncas is going to be having his go now, playing Malta, and it's going to be his turn to see what he can do against Warsword. And Warsword playing as the Chinese, so a civilization that has had a few changes recently and has been a very strong civ, still a strong civ. And it's going to be interesting to see whether we're going to be seeing some H2 play, because usually the strategy with China is to go for a good sort of naked FF, fast fortress, and get your H3 unit shipments out as soon as. But let's see how this one goes.
This is definitely a really nice matchup that we will be seeing shortly. And China received a minor nerf on the current patch compared to the previous patch. So the blockhouse that you get from the Russian consulate used to allow you to train castle armies and also flamethrowers and hand mortars, but it doesn't do that anymore. So I would say it's just best to go with the German consulate right away and get those 3
Yeah.
calls. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I think what's really happening with, as I said at the start of the previous game, like with Malta, it seems to be the go-to is majority of the time is to go with the German tongue, because
Yeah.
it's just too good of a card to not go for, especially in conjunction with the Wigner Court construction. It's such a great thing, and also you get a commandery as well. It's something that is such a crucial unit, a crucial building. Sorry, so good for defensive plays as well. And it doesn't take too long to get your settler wagons maxed out. It doesn't take too long to get 6 of them, and they pay off in dividends. Really, really good eco start. But it all depends on how this wants to play, whether Ungas wants to try and shut down Warsword, if Warsword is going to go for a fast fortress. He is going for a TP right now, I can see on the map, and that's a key indicator that there's probably going to be a fast fortress play. Yeah, but we can see, obviously, at the south side of the map, we have Ungas here, of course, playing as the Maltese in the blue. And just having a quick look at his deck here, it seems relatively standard. I can see we've got the Spanish tongue there. It looks like in H3, which is going to get the Caçadores, I believe, the Order Caçadores. No, that's the Portuguese.
That's Portuguese. He will get it. The Spanish Lancers.
The Lancers. That's it. Yeah. The Garrochistas, as they're known as.
Yeah, the Garrochistas.
My Spanish is awful. Everyone knows it's like a meme. I can't say Spanish words. I'm terrible. So apologies to all the Spanish viewers. And we got the Auto Lose deck. I love it. From Warsword here. And just looking at the deck overall.
Auto Lose deck.
Yeah, the Auto Lose deck.
I just love it.
Yeah, so it's looking like it is a very standard deck. In H3, you've got the Iron Troops, you've got the Manchu, and you've got the Meteor Hammers, you've got the Changdao, the Arquebusi, a shipment there as well. This is pretty much my deck that I roll with. So there isn't a huge change there at all. So I'm expecting a good old fast fortress here.
Yeah, only that will be the case. I mean, he could potentially apply the pressure on H2 as well, considering he has the Step Rider, the Chekonus, and also the Rattan Shield on H2. But then usually when the H2 all-in is happening, there is the Flamethrower card there as well. But yeah, as you said, this will be the H3 play, I believe.
Yeah. I think that's what it's going to be. So yeah, we can see obviously the Summer Palace going down usually in that kind of position anyway, defensive position. It's a great building, 5,000 HP. It's a big building as well, so it can cause difficulties with your opponent when they rush trying to get to you. So it's a good building to put down and to put down well. We can see that Ungas here is going to be pretty much going, for the gang saw in transition. He's going for quartermaster. He's getting that wood in. He's pretty much doing what Warsaw did in the previous game so that he can maximize his settlers here. But actually, no, hang on a minute. He's not getting the card in. The German tongue card's in age 1. But we're not seeing him go for it.
I mean, he's chopping for it. That's 400.
Oh, yeah, Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, I'm losing it. I'm not going to continue. I'm sorry, guys. What an embarrassment. Yeah, of course. He needs the 400. The 450, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, 450. There we go. That's awkward. 450. Of course, he needs that before he can get the card.
And on the other side, it looked like Warsaw is going for the T export card. He's setting up his consulate instantly. And by the look of his base setup, he's just doing a really nice turtle there. And he's going with the Russian Russian consulate straight away. I wonder if he's still going for the blockhouse, considering the nerfs on the blockhouse.
Yeah, I think even if you go fast fortress, I think the nerfs to the blockhouse is fine. One of the nerfs obviously was the fact that you're unable to train certain banner army units from it, which I don't think he's going to really be too worried about doing because he's not playing age 2. The blockhouse pre-nerf, a lot of the time that was used to play quite an interesting age 2 because you could get the Kashyyyk step rider combination. Yeah. That is no longer possible, but if you're going age 3 and you're going for a fast fortress, you don't really need it. But what you do need is you need a decent outpost building, a defensive building, and one that can definitely be used to train the age 3 banner armies, especially the territorial army and the Meteor Hammer one, the Forbidden Army, I believe it is as well. So I still think it's viable, definitely, to go for the Russian consulate here.
Yeah, I mean, I personally prefer the just go straight away for the German consulate. Get those resource trickles because I mean obviously that will kick off, and at the same time you will get cheaper military units as well from the bonus of the German consulate. But I guess that's his plan, and he's going for it. So
yeah, I think it is an interesting one. There's many ways that you can play it. It depends how you feel, and if you feel like you're going to be rushed. Like if you feel like you're going to get some pressure, you probably want to go Russian. You don't. If you want to be a bit greedy, you don't think you're going to get the pressure, then you probably want to go German maybe, so you can get those trickles. But we can see here that Ungus is sort of going for 700 gold. He's got his eco, his Wigner court in. He's going 700 coin now. Everyone on food. So that says to me that he's going for a kind of semi-FF style. He's got 5 pikes out. He's probably going to be sieging down the TP, I imagine, before any kind of pressure comes his way. I don't know if he's going to be able to get that down. Let's have a look maybe to see where Warsword is. Sorry, where Warsword is on his age up. If he's actually getting into it right now.
He's almost there. Yeah. And also he placed his blockhouse as well in a turtle position. So he's going for
the good old 700 wood as well, straight off the bat. So very, very standard. He's going for the Confucian Academy, which is a very standard play to go if you want to be aggressive as soon as. You can go for the Porcelain Tower, which is the more greedy, but that's really, really nice. It's basically like a factory. It gives you great resource trickles. Very, very impressive. And I think it's going to be able to deny these pike, I think he's going to get there in time. He's going to be okay.
Yeah, he will be fine. He will be fine. And as soon as the Wonder is up, he will get the Arquebuser as well. That will be more than enough.
Yeah, so that's kind of unfortunate for Ungus there. Obviously, his plan was to get the 5 pike, take down the TP, and then potentially age up. He's going to be trying to go back for a second time here, see if he can try and take it down quickly before he gets any harassment. He might be... no, I don't think he is going to be successful. I don't know, though.
It's close. Maybe.
It's close, but it's not enough, unfortunately.
Yeah, he can't. But Warsword should be really repairing that, unless he's willing to rebuild it again.
And Unga's going for the... What's that card called? I can't remember what it's called. The one, that one there where it gives you the reduced upgrades for your units. I can't remember.
Oh,
for life
the
of me what
one
it's
from
called.
Maltese.
Hospitality. That's it.
Hospitality, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So he's going for that, which is a great card to go for to help him get into H3 quickly.
And instantly he's upgrading both of the units at the same time.
Yeah. And it looks like he's going to be sticking with crossbows. He's getting those upgrades in. Good to see. Bow pike. Very, very nice. I think you can basically go bow pike so far up the ladder right now. If you can play it well, if you can micro well, bow pike can be pretty viable throughout all the different times of stages of a game, especially with Malta, obviously. So very, very
just
good.
because they
competition.
scale really well, yeah.
But we do see a nice timing attack here. We do see the pop from the consulate there. He's got the Red Guards, I believe it is. He's got the Arquebusier from his Confucian Academy age up. He's got first pop of the Meteor Hammers and Iron Flails as well coming out for Warsword. And yeah, he switched to the Brit consulate. That's going to help him get some extra damage there. Was it HP? Can never remember. It's a buff all round regardless.
Yeah. And he finally switches Summer Palace to train Arquebusier and Changdaos. Meanwhile, he's sending more Arquebusier.
That's it. Yeah, he's going to need it. I think that's one of the best things to try and go for to combat this crossbow is to go pretty much to go skirmish yourself and then go for some Meteor Hammers to try and we do now see further cav on the way here for Warsword coming in. And Ungas needs to be a little bit careful of his vills there, but it seems to be okay just for now. I imagine Warsword's going to wait for that shipment to come in, which it is right now, and he's going to make another push.
I believe Warsword needs some artillery to push into this because the position of the commandery post and the TC is in a way that Ungers can easily defend between those buildings, but I guess he just have to wait for the Flying Crow to be ready, which is going to be really soon, and then also at the same time he needs to deal with any sort of covering which Ungers make potentially.
Yeah, I think it's definitely underrated going for. When I play China, I don't really go for the Confucian that much because I struggle with macro sometimes with wood and that, so I tend to go for the porcelain tower. But I think if you really want to be aggressive, yeah, going for the Confucian is really good because it can pay off over time, giving you those
Flying Crows.
Yeah, the Flying Crows, yeah. Very underrated unit and something that can be pretty damn good against a bunch of crossbows that we see here from Ungas. But looks like they are going to be... Are they going to be committing? Looks like they are going to be further cav coming on the way now, and he's just going to be pushing with that cav shipment. The Dragoons trying to just act as like a buffer, really, to let the crossbows get back. And doing a good job trying to deal with the cav there. Still more cav, though, from Warsword coming in. And he's just going to keep continually pushing forward. And 5 Meteor Hammers now on the way as well.
Those settlers are in a bad spot. I feel they're not in an ideal position. They're getting shot at. It seems like he's using them to tank. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, I don't think that's his plan, though. Definitely,
I guess it was just a mistake.
Yeah, that is not good at all. Still 36 against 32 on the eco score, however, but Warsword has a vast amount of troops here.
Well.
Indeed, and the Flying Crow is going to be setting up now, and most likely trying to take a house down or two. 5 Meteor Hammers now coming in. He's also got another Red Guard shipment on the way, as you can see. Changdao coming in, and this is the China that we still know and love. The tempo of China is absolutely insane. The death ball that we all either love or hate, depending if we play them or play against them.
I wonder if Ungers is waiting for a shipment at the moment. Yep, he's waiting for the fixed gun shipment, which is dropping in. Oh my god, that wasn't a good place to ship. Oh god, that was really risky.
Yeah, that's going to be a one hit
it's
down.
going to get sniped, yeah. That was not a place to Ship
He
that.
probably should have tried to back that off. He was probably in a sticky situation. He didn't want to lose the wagon because there is some camp up the field. But yeah, there's the GG. I was waiting for that.
I
Damn.
mean, I get the frustration at that point. It was just
Yeah,
as
it's
soon as
just,
the face gun is out, it's getting sniped. So
yeah, unfortunate to see, but it's one of those things. I don't know. Maybe getting some H2 pressure in, seeing if Ungas could maybe shut down the fast fortress. I understand what he did there. He tried to go for the 5 pike first into the fast fortress so he could try and take the TP down. But I don't know. I think in this kind of matchup, maybe the best thing is to just try and see if you can pressure China as much as possible and delay them from getting into H3, because that was an unfortunate game there, but a great one from Warsword. Great tempo that we always see from China players, and that is going to move it to a 2-all position. And these are some quick games as well. We're not really seeing long games here, apart from the first one, I guess, where they sort of went fast industrial, but still, it wasn't really a long game. So short, snappy games that we've got here, and at the moment, it sits at 2-all.
seem like Hungars is a really big fan of fast fortress or semi FFs. But
Yeah, he's
I
a
guess
lover of it. Yeah,
yeah, I guess
definitely.
this game wasn't the game.
Okay, so yeah, we are going to be having a short break now, ladies and gents, around 5 minutes, just a bit of intermission here. I'm going to be going and grabbing myself a drink, so I hope you guys do the same as well. Stay in chat, stay live, stay there, and hopefully we'll be with you very, very shortly with the 5th game between Warsword and Ungas.
Alright, lads, we are back and we already got the game. So it's gonna be Sweden versus Shawnee, and it's gonna be played on, if I'm not mistaken, it's gonna be on Corland, right? Okay, so Widgie's not with us yet. We're just waiting for him. And then I guess we will be starting right away till he comes back. If you give us a second. All right, good to go. All right, so we got Ungus on Shawnee and Warsword on Sweden, and this side of the map. This is one of those maps that you can't really extend your base toward the center of the map just due to the fact of this huge frozen lake. So you're forced to either go for the sides or just turtle on your own base, more or less like the prepared marches, but with the fact that on prepared marches, at least you can sometimes just find a spot to place some military buildings or defensive buildings on the middle of the map if you're lucky with the trees. But on this map, you can't do it whatsoever. And by the look of it, just waiting for them to pick up their deck, and then we'll see how they will be playing this. But usually we will be seeing some H2 aggression with Shawnee with the Kenyas and also the Ionos. And of course, they can do the big button timing with the tomahawks as well. It will be a really nice push usually, but we will see if that will be the case here. And at the same time, this map with Sweden, it's really good because you have the House of Vasa as well. You can get that, and there is the tech where you can get 4 torps for the cost of 250 food and 300 wood. So you can get additional 4 torps and then just place it inside the map, either around the gold mines or wherever you decide. And then
I'm back. Apologies. I am here.
nice.
I had to quickly go grab a drink and a few snacks, but I'm back. So I was just listening to the introduction there. So it's an interesting matchup. This is on Cowerland, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Correct. Yeah. So an interesting one where obviously you can't build any buildings in the middle. So and it's kind of what the hunts like to do on this map is slowly converge into the middle of the map. So it's kind of when you start to run out of food, you've really got to try and contest the middle and take the hunts away from your opponent to really make sure that you've got enough food. But Sweden aren't going to have to worry about that too much in the early part and maybe middle part of the game
because of the blueberries.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm definitely sensing some kind of fast fortress play here, potentially with Ungas getting some forest prowlers. That kind of play seems to be the go-to because, of course, with Sweden, we're going to be seeing that all-important Carolean mass.
Yeah, and then obviously the forest prowler is the superior unit on H3 compared to the Caroleans. And I mean, ideally, you can say the Ionos will counter the Caroleans as well, but obviously, Forest Prowler is one of the best skirmishers inside the game, so it's a really good unit, especially if you have the Warchief nearby them.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. We can see here that, of course, the tribal marketplace has gone down now very early on in transition for Ungus here. So that says to me that we're going to be seeing a H3 shortly.
And then he has the Dominion card as well, so I guess that's pretty standard. And I was saying earlier, the House of Vasa has the the 4 torp shipment, which you can potentially get, which is obviously a really good shipment, I would say, for especially for Sweden, where you get like all these bonuses with the torps. So I guess this is maybe that's one of the intention of Warsword for going Sweden on this one.
Yeah, I think it's one thing knowing how to play a civ on a certain map, but it's also knowing what specific natives you have available to you and how that's going to work and synergize with the civ that you're going to pick. That really separates the kind of, you know, sort of standard casual players, let's say, to the more high-end professional players. They've got to really go into that depth and that research into each individual map and plan out what civ is going to be most ideal for that map, and also what kind of civ they're expected to play against, depending on their kind of opponent. So a lot kind of involved in there, but we do see that he's going for the Dominions card. So 4 free torps are going to be coming out now for Warsword, and looks like Ungus is going straight for the 5 vils. I imagine he's probably going to go 5 vils and then 700 coin. That's what I kind of actually know. Shut me now. We see 600 wood coming in.
600 wood, 700 wood.
700 wood, sorry. Yeah. So it looks like that's Tomahawk production as well. It seems. So where is his barracks then? Where's his war hut? He must have a war hut down somewhere on his side.
You were talking about it, and actually I thought you were talking about Sweden, because Sweden is also shipping wood.
Yeah, something interesting to see. It's kind of throwing me off. So I don't know whether it's going to be maybe you can kind of do quite a good semi-FF. You can do like a 5 Kanya a 4 Kanya with 15 Tomahawk kind of semi-FF build. So yeah, I'm very interested to see what Ungus is going to be up to here.
Seem like the wood shipment from Sweden has dropped by, and the Dominion card, the Dominion bonus, which enables the torps to auto gather from the resource crates, is just gathering them. You can see how fast the wood is going up just because of the Dominion card, and now he should be able to just place. Oh, he went for the saloon. That's interesting. So he placed a Rex artillery foundry and also a saloon, and he's training 5 Cossack Daredevil instantly out of it.
Remind me of that unit. I'm not familiar with that unit. It looks like he's managed to dismount his cavalry there. The Cossack Daredevils.
Yeah,
deadly knives.
That unit is like once you dismount them, basically, they will turn into a really aggressive range unit. Well, I wouldn't call them musketeer, but they could be musketeer as well. But yeah, I mean, if you put them on melee, they will do magic because of the 1 attack speed that they get once they're dismounted, and at the same time, once they are in range, they have 2 attack speed, which is I would say one of the highest attack speed on the musketeer units inside the game.
So there's lots of these units that I'm still not fully aware of. So many unique units that you can get access to. You know, the mercenary outlaw units provided on each individual map. So there's a lot of learning to be sort of had. And yeah, my learning or my knowledge is quite limited when it comes to those kind of cards. But it looks like Ungus is trying to really.
Yeah, Widgie, your Discord is cutting off, so if you can just fix it. Meanwhile, we got some raids going on up on the top side of the map, and we got 3 leather cannons. 1 torp was almost down, and then he managed to pick up a settler, and those Tomahawks actually managed to escape. That's surprising. And one thing about the Swedish outlaw strat is the fact that you're able to spam the torps all around the maps. You don't really have to worry about the outlaw pop, because usually the outlaws are really population heavy unless you send the saloon card, which is the H2 card. But Ungers doesn't have that, so those outlaws just gonna stay at their current pop. But as you can see, since he has enough corpse, he can support the population for those, which is going to be fine for the time being. And seem like he's maintaining the pressure there at the moment with the light cannon, with the leather cannon and the pikes. So I believe that Warhawk will be going down because there is no unit there whatsoever to protect it. So yeah, that Warhawk is going down 100%. And then at the same time, I guess Ungus is just replacing a Warhawk and a Coral, which is the stable for the Shawnees, in the back of his base, and he's trying to play a safe game there. More Cossack Daredevils are there. I wonder if he will dismount them again. Yep, he's doing it. I mean, that's a because I believe he saw that Ungus is training Tomahawks mainly, so he's just dismounting them, so it's gonna be Musketeer fighting Musketeers. But then Ungus is already on H3 and the Forest Prowlers are already there, and you can see they're really looking scary, but at the same time there is the leather cannon, which he can't really deal with them. I mean, he can't really push into them because of the leather cannons, but you just have to find a way to deal with the leather cannon. And those leather cannons are really putting some good work into the Forest Prowlers. You're just picking them off one by one. The Explorer is really low. He should be really take care of that, because as soon as the Explorer goes down, all of his military units will be losing 10% HP, which is massive, and that's not something you want to have with Shawnee. So he lost his Explorer already. That's 100 XP for Warsword, and at the same time minus 10% HP for Ungus. He managed to...
I'm back. I don't know if, as I say, please let me know if there's any other issues. I think there may be a slight interruption or issue with my internet, but I have been watching whilst I was muted, and it seems that we see now that Unga's managing to get into H3 and Warsword's still on H2 at the moment, so it's looking pretty promising overall, I think, for Unga's at this moment in time.
Yeah, should be. I mean, for the time being, his Explorer is kinda dead, so you just have to wait for the Explorer to get up. And look like those Cossack Daredevils are really putting some work into the game. Like, they are really interesting units. Didn't expect them to apply that much pressure into Shawnee units.
Yeah, we can definitely see that the score is slightly in Warsword's favor. He's got a pretty decent military position, but obviously that population is most likely because of the mercenaries as well, giving him that population. But as we can
Outlaws.
see, outlaws indeed. And as we can see, Unga's going for the classic sort of fast fortress or the fortress style play with Howd, and he's going for the good old musket rider with the jungle prowlers. So probably the best combination and most ideal to go for, I would say. I mean, if he's got the opportunity, maybe try and go for an H4 if it's possible. Get some light cannons. That'll be pretty clutch, I think, for him.
Oh, look at that. Seems like Warsword is even committing more into light cannon. So 3 light cannon is being trained and 2 light cannon is coming from the home city. So that's going to be 5 on top of the outlaw mass. So 9 Cossack Daredevil, 10 Carlin, 5 crossbows, and a singular Hussar. So this is a really nice mass for Warsword, but same time, look like Unkers is just going towards his opponent base while his base is almost being attacked. Look like Warsaw decided to just pull out and then just go straight away to the top. That's what I was talking about earlier about this map. You can't really expand your base because of the frozen lake, so you just have to micro your units, have a scout unit somewhere in the middle, so you will see what's going on inside the map.
Yeah, it looks like the musket riders here going to try and poke and see what they can do. They do great damage against the leather cannons, but it looks like Warsword is going to also be managing with his Cossack daredevils on horseback now, going to be trying to raid as many villas as possible. And it seems that the musket riders doing a pretty damn good job. Great multipliers against those cannons, and yeah, it looks like he's pretty much cleaned up all of those. Forest Prowlers doing a great job as well with the distance they have. And all that seems to be left is a few crossbow units for Warsword, and a great cleanup overall there for Ungas. And it's quite clear to see with the score difference there, but he is getting raided.
Yeah, he is getting raided indeed. He lost, I guess, 2 settlers if I'm not mistaken. But now the manlets is being played. Those manlets are really good at the moment. So I'm not sure if he trained them or he sent the. Let me just quick that. So yeah, he sent it through the home city shipment. So they have been buffed, I would say, overall. Since the current patch, they're cheaper. And once you hit H4, they will be getting additional resistance, and also they will be getting siege resistance as well. So it will be a really strong
I've never
unit.
used. Yeah, I've never used the mantlets before. I don't know if they're quite micro intensive or
They're
something
just a
like that. Or
tank. They're
yeah,
just a
yeah,
tank.
yeah. It's very interesting to see. But from the recent sort of overhaul or rework of Howd, yeah, that the developers and the team trying to encourage people to start using the unit more, and it's quite clear to see we see it in action right now. So Unga's hopefully going to be trying to use this. I've never seen mantlets sieging buildings before. That's a new one for me.
I mean,
Um,
they have a high siege. That's 50 siege on a unit.
Yeah, I've never really seen the unit being played in matches I play, or I've never used them. So a very unpopular unit, but hopefully something that we'll start to see in future games as well.
I'm not sure why Ungers is not really protecting his manless. I mean, they're just sitting there without defense. Oh, as we speak, the musket riders and the Kenyas are coming in. The leather cannon is going down 100%, all of them, and the Caroline mass is being cleaned up. Wait, was that Caroline? I think it was crossbows mainly.
Yeah, there's crossbows as well, but I think there's some of the Cossack daredevils are in front as well there. But I mean, it's just quite clear. Look at the jungle prowler mass. I mean, that's easily 20 prowlers or more there in the field, and he's just got a combination, and there it
Yeah,
is. Just even
GG's.
after that, GG.
I guess
So
Warsword committed too much on H2. I feel if he moved to H3, he had a better chance. I would say he could just go for he could go for the Falconet, he could go for the Hussars, and well, upgraded Carlines are obviously a good choice. He could go for Jaegers potentially, but then I don't know. I mean, that was his decision, and the H2 play didn't pay off.
yeah, I think it was quite good from Ungus. I was expecting initially of like a fast fortress strategy, but going for like 15, 20 tomahawks in H2, using those to siege down the torps, then thinking about transitioning and going into H3 was quite a nice play because, it offers one of the best skirmishes in the game, which is the jungle prowler. And that's just going to be so good against any kind of Corollian. But, it's quite clear that Warsaw didn't really go for a lot of Corollians. It's kind of strange to see from a Sweden player. Well, it was more the Cossack daredevils with crossbowmen. A very interesting strategy and something that I haven't seen before. So, don't know if that's going to catch on, but interesting to see nonetheless.
Yeah, indeed. So we got the next game going. And we are loading into it. All right, so all right, there goes your point, buddy. So the next prediction is coming up soon as well. You ready for it?
Fantastic. And it
Oh,
looks like,
look at all those channel points. Oh god.
yeah, crazy. Like nearly 500,000 points in play there. But this matchup is going to be an interesting one. We're seeing China for a second time. Unga's now going to be playing the Chinese against Hauser
Hausa.
from Warsaw.
It's I haven't seen really others play Hausa except for Warsword. I don't know. I guess he's pretty decent with Hausa that he's picking it because they have been receiving decent amount of nerfs in the couple patches, which is understandable.
Yeah, I think there's still a lot of people in the game at this moment in time that still think, Hauser are quite an overpowered civ. I can't say for sure. I do know that they have a really sort of insane kind of tempo in the way they play and the way that they can get their units and their shipments. So we've got kind of two civs head to head here that kind of have some really strong tempo. And it's going to be interesting to see how these both play because I don't think I've ever really casted this matchup before. So, on the left side, of course, here, just to clarify, we have Warsword here playing as Hauser. And on the right side of the map, we have Ungas playing as the Chinese in the blue. This is one of my favorite maps, actually, at the moment, for some reason. I like this map. It's a good one.
Yeah, I feel like Anatolia is one of those interesting maps at the moment. I actually like it as well. And let's see which player did the study the most. Seem like Warsaw did the map study the most because he already got 3 water buffaloes for himself, compared to Ungars, which he got 1 only.
Yeah, I think it's such an underrated thing, not, just researching the map, knowing where things are or where things are due to be or to be spawned on the map can really just help you get that extra slight edge and advantage over your opponent. But what's interesting that Ungas has gone for the same style opening as Warsaw did when Warsaw played China. So he's gone for a TP and a village. So most likely going to be going for the T export card second, I would say. But who knows? This deck, you can play H2 with it. It's a very versatile deck that can be used for both FF play, semi-FF, H2 play. You can pretty much use it for anything. So who knows?
One thing is catching me off is Hausa opening with the additional Emir card. So that's interesting.
Yeah,
That's something I haven't seen that often, to be honest, myself.
Yeah, that is an interesting one. I mean, my Hauser knowledge is limited. I have casted quite a few games of them before, but yeah, it's difficult to say. I mean, going for a TP opening here, I mean, there's many things that you can do. You can kind of go for like a kind of a boom with Hauser, especially with the influence and stuff, taking over the TPs and going for the Hauser builder card and just spamming out palaces and stuff like that to get you more influence. But I don't know. There's many ways. There are many ways that you can play them, and I'm unsure of how this one's going to play out.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, having 2 emirs, which is the House of Explorer, it's going to be really good for the fights as well because the more units you have next to them, they will be getting higher combat. That's the unit bonus of the African explorers, basically. So it will be good, I guess, in a good team fight. Well, team fight, I mean a really nice mass on the units of the Civ.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's quite clear. Just looking at what Ungus is doing here, I mean, we can see actually the TP takeover here from Warsword is happening. I think he's already building 2 further TPs on the line.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I think, yeah, he's going to try and take this while he can, because he, you know, 9 times out of 10, if you're playing against China, they're probably going to fast fortress. So you've got that time to quickly secure the TP line and get that extra eco in, and we can see that he's got that university shipment coming in now as he's getting into age 2. So yeah, maybe he's going to go for like an influence boom with his TPs.
Yeah, if he does that, that will be really decent because he can send the Sudanese shipment, can go for the Archons, which he can be. I mean, basically, the Archons by default are native unit, which you can only get them from the native settlements. But if you send that card with Hausa, you will be able to train them from your barracks, which is for the case of Hausa, their barracks and stable is a mixed building, and it's called War Academy, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was
It's
the
a war
name
camp,
for
I
that.
think.
Yeah, war
I think
camp.
it's a war camp. Yeah,
War
they always
camp, yeah,
change
yeah.
it. It's like a war hut, war camp. Yeah, they're all sort of the same thing. But yeah, it's quite nice for Hausa, the fact that they've got kind of one building that gets the majority of their stuff out,
Yeah,
which is
exactly.
quite nice. But yeah, it looks like Unkus is going for a standard FF. He's got the 700 wood now coming in straight after the gold. So it's interesting to see what he's going to be going for. Is he going to be going for the Confucian Academy, or is he going to be going for the Porcelain Tower?
I think it's gonna be confusion. I think that's the typical play. But look at Hausa. He's just stacking that influence. 4 TPs, stacking influence. Oh my god, that's massive. That's
With the
massive.
700 as well, 700 influence shipment coming in as well. So
Yeah, wow.
he's going to be racking it out quick. So it's going to be interesting to see what he's going to be spending that on.
I
And
think
whether he's going to
he's.
be going for an age 2
I
push.
think he's gonna train the F zones because he got the trade post and. Oh wait, he went for the mountain monastery from the House of Honor. So he's gonna get 2 mountain monastery, which he can place on top of the gold mines, so they will trickle coin, and at the same time you can use your settlers to gather from them. It's just going to be nice.
And we can see there just quickly that Ungus actually is going for the Porcelain Tower. So he's going to be also getting down a market as well, getting his techs in. And yeah, it looks like I think probably because he knows that Warsword is taking over the TP line, he really does need to make sure that he keeps up with his economy. So I guess it kind of makes sense going for the Porcelain Tower to try and keep up with him. Otherwise, he might be in a tricky situation. So looks like he's securing his hunts there as well, doing a good job, dropping down a village where his hunts are so that he can garrison if there's any kind of raiding. So that's good to see as well.
So look like if Warsword already got the fast age up option from the university, so that costs influence. After you get that tech, you can get the fast age up for your next age up, and he's already collecting the coins, which he got from the shipment, and the age up is coming in, and it's gonna be Archons. So he's aging up with the Archons. You're gonna get a native embassy and also a bunch of Archons at the same time.
And it also looks like here, Unga's going for the China, going for the meteor hammers straight away. And if we have a look quickly at Warsword here, yeah, as you mentioned, going for the age 3 Akans or Arkan age up there. And he's just going to try and not lose any villas to raid. So I think he's going to be fine. Yeah, already taking 1 step rider down.
He's stacking decent amount of food, dude. He has 17 settlers on food. Oh, as we speak, he's switching. Yeah, that's a really healthy economy from Warsword. I mean, look at all those stacked water buffaloes and also the Sangre cattles. He's trickling so much influence. He's getting so much influence from the trading post, and he can. You have to keep in mind, anytime he feels that he needs the resource, he can just sell the resource in the livestock market. He can just convert the cow to either food or to either wood or gold.
It looks like he's now used all of his influence to train some troops. I don't know what they were. Were they the boyars there or something? Was that veteran boys? I'm not too sure.
Yeah. So
We can
he.
see.
Wait. Oh, okay. So he trained the Berber camels. He trained the boyars, and he got some of the archons which he got from the Asia. This unit comp is really looking good. Oh wait, I think he's going to age up. Oh my god, that's gonna be really good. Because that's the basically bonus with the African civs. So as long as you age up, your native units will be shadow taking. So
Yeah, it's always something to bear in mind. There's always lots to think about with the African civs, but Unga's doing a good job here, really pressuring,
Wow.
taking 2 TP downs already, and he's moving on through. He's got his Changdao, Arquebusier, and of course the meteor hammers there in front. So he is sort of really repping the standard composition for H3 China, and yeah, it looks like, as you mentioned, Warsword. Now getting
going for the
into
age up.
age 4. So Ungus needs to make a decision quickly. He needs to kind of get in there as soon as he can, start putting some pressure on, and that's exactly what he's doing. Going to be doing very short. I think he's probably going to nab that other TP actually before he does anything else.
But then I would say now he's giving more time to Warsword to complete his age up, and you can notice the native stat that he got. Like, he doesn't need any population for them. As you can see, he's sitting on 2 house only, and he's having a really nice unit comp, which is going to be upgraded very soon automatically.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that he's only got like it just doesn't make any sense. He's got, you can see there the military population at the top part of the top bar there. It shows that Ungus has full military population, but you got to bear in mind that there's certain unit types that don't have any population.
Yeah, these are native units. Yeah,
native ones. So that is exactly what we're seeing right now from Warsword. So definitely a completely different way of playing. And if I was playing against this, I'd be mega confused about what is going on. There's so many different intricacies with the African civs, and the age up now has come in, and he's going for the native.
The Yorubas. Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh, he's sending native treaties. You're gonna get Yorubas, Akans, and also you're gonna get I think you're gonna get both Evzones and Boyars. Oh my god, that's a huge pop. Huge
So
native
he's probably
pop.
going to just be waiting for that, and then he's going to make his push in, and we're going to see how successful it is. But Unga's got a lot of Arquebusiers there, and obviously decent amount of Changdaos as well, and he's doing some decent siege now. Score difference is there, but we'll see when the shipments now come in, which they have, and looks like it's going to be a nice sandwich coming in here. Oh my god.
Wow.
I have no idea what's going on here.
Units.
And further pop of units coming in now. The Lafidi Knights, I believe, have just popped in, trying to get on the Arquebusiers as well. But the Changdao trying to do as best they can to try and fend off all of the cavalry coming in. And Ungus, I mean, that was a great pop from Warsword there. Really great positioning.
That's really crazy. Like, all those native pop just sandwiching you at the same time on top of some Lifiris. I mean, this looks really good. But
yeah, unfortunately, the Changdao's doing a great job, but just not enough of them. And now we've just suddenly got tons of Javelin Riders and Falanis now coming in.
Yeah, that
and
was the H4 shipments. Yeah.
Yeah. And
more
oh
Boyars.
my god, there's just so much coming
this
out.
Is
What
massive.
is this?
Those Boyars are
Insane.
really scary. Like, I would say one of the best melee cavalry in the game, just because of their insane attack speed.
Yeah, and he's going to have to do the slow walk home, and he's going to be losing all of his entire
Wow.
mass here. So I don't know what
Very
Ungus
nice.
has now as an answer, but that is a lot of Cav and Fulani's now coming in now as well.
Beautiful play. Beautiful. Well, are they upgraded? No. Oh, actually, he upgraded them. So they are veteran units. Well, for the case of Hausa, they're elite units, but he hasn't upgraded them to champion yet. But I mean, they have a decent stat for the time being.
It's just kind of insane, like, because, yeah, he's only got 2 TPs at the moment, but he's just got that influence that he can just keep using to create the units that he needs. And, we see Warsword now in age 4, so he's going to have age 4 units, and the Falanis are here as well. And this is going to be really tricky for Ungus to try and deal with. I'm not too sure
when
he
is
has
he
got another
gonna
pop,
send
though.
the Manchus?
Manchus-
Oh, the Manchu is coming in as we speak. China is going for it, I guess. Not just yet.
And there they are. Manchu's going to try and do what they can. Not ideal. Not a lot of heavy cavalry, if any, now left for Warsword. So the Manchus kind of don't really want to get too involved there. But it's still going to be an okay trade here for Ungus. But, Musketeers are going down pretty quickly. Fulani's doing a good job.
Iron troops are coming in as well, but then at the same time, more javelins from Warsword and more boyars.
Boyars
Oh,
coming in now
God.
as well.
Oh no, those settlers. Oh god.
Oh, the Bills. Get the Bills back.
Oh god.
He needs
That's
to
a
protect
slaughter. That's a slaughter.
He's going to have to walk them around really slowly, but it looks like Warsword isn't really too fussed about them as of yet. He just wants to clean up the main part of his army, and there's just so many javelin riders and boyars just swarming. Lafidi's now once again coming in,
Oh my
and I'm
god, this
surprised
is
he didn't
really
chase down
scary.
those vills. There was
Yeah.
a lot of vills there, and he kind of just didn't really bother with pursuing them, which is kind of strange.
Milkman is popping off, and the Iron Troop is almost there. You just have to protect those Iron Troops with the Manchus. So as long as the Boyars and the Lifiris don't get into them, I guess the Iron Troops can put on some really good work. I mean, they're already doing a decent amount of job cleaning up that.
I think it's quite good. Him. What the hell? The Greek Revolution ability.
Yeah, that's he will get bunch of what's it called? Sacred Band infantry. So they are like Greek musketeers. So
Wait,
he will
how's
be
it can
getting that.
revolt?
No, it's just from the native post. The
Oh, it's
House
from
of
the native
Honor.
post.
Yeah.
All right, okay, yeah. Sorry, I was getting so confused, and I was like, "What is going on?"
Yeah.
Warsword is using every different unusual sort of tactics and areas of Hausa and the natives that I just don't know about. I don't have that expanse of knowledge, and it looks like Warsword is really trying to use as much of that as possible, and we can just see it working absolutely beautiful for him. I mean, there's so much cav here. He's got the mobility. He can probably hunt down the vills. I can see vills exactly north of the map there that Ungus has. He's probably got about 15 vills up there.
This is gonna be GG.
He's lost so much now, so much gold in those troops, and
Yeah. That was beautiful play by Warsword. I'm gonna give it. He played it really nice and patient.
I mean, that's a lot of knowledge to have. That's probably a very complex build order too.
Yeah,
There's a lot of timings involved. I mean, that is not
he
an
just
easy thing to
went all the way to industrial. I mean, it was kind of Ungus also giving him the window, but then Warsword played it really nice. I loved it.
Yeah. But one of the best things that we have, which is absolutely amazing, is that we have a tiebreaker. We have the final game to be played. So it is now going to be 3-3, which is perfect. We have the 7th game of the best of 7. I mean, you can't get it any better than this. I think,
Yeah.
recently games have been very, very close, especially previously today with Julian and Revnak as well. Very sort of close games. There's not really been a complete cleanup. There's been no sort of 4-0, 4-1 here. It's been very good, close, cool games, and that's exactly what everyone wants. So I can't wait to see the final game between these two players. It's going to be awesome. I don't know what Civs is going to be as well.
Yeah, the Civ pick gonna be huge indeed. So seems like we got the game already.
I'm feeling like Germany. Is there going to be a Germany here? I don't know. I can feel it. Germany or maybe Japan. Yeah, somebody saying risotto saying in chat. Yeah, Germany, Ethiopia, Germany.
Oh
Germany
god. Oh god, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
We got an Ethiopia. So yeah, we go. One person correct from Warsword.
And
But with
British.
Brits. All right,
Wow.
okay.
This is a game, man. This is a game. The final game. We got Ethiopia being played. I mean, Warsaw is doing a really good job playing the African saves. I mean, I have
he
to give
knows
it
them.
to him. I
Yeah,
have to
he
give it to him.
knows the African, the native there with the Inca as well that he played, going for the native rush. He's not a huge fan of playing a huge amount of the standard legacy civs. Really likes to utilize as many of the new civs as well, which is always awesome to see. So let's have a look here. So on the bottom right part of the map, spawning in the blue, we have Ungas playing as the Brits, and the top left part of the map, we have Warsword playing as Ethiopia in the red. So what are we going to see from Ethiopia? Because they've had a few changes, I think, as well. I don't know if we're going to be seeing any sort of lame strats or meme strats, as people call it. I'm not too
In the
sure.
previous patch they have nerfed the outlaw strat from Ethiopia already. So there was this strat where you could get cheaper outlaws, cheaper native shipments, and mercenaries from the age 1. So that card has been moved to age 3, and then I guess that just slows down the tempo of outlaw strat for H2 Ethiopia, and also like usually it was outlaw spam on top of like bunch of native shipments on H2, which you get like Sudanese, Berbers, Jesuits. It was really good. It was really good. I mean, I would say now the tempo will be slower, but look at that. He already got 5 cows. That's amazing. Wow. I love it. He already managed to pick 5 cows. Look at that.
That is insane. Once again, it's coming up with that the game knowledge. Obviously, one of the most well known sort of points or things to know about this map is obviously on that island, on the secondary island there on the top right part of the map. There's usually lots of cows lying around, so it's always really crucial to get your explorer there as quickly as possible and pick up as many of them as you can. So it looks like Warsaw's done a great job there, taking vast majority of the cows there.
So, as we
There is
speak,
the outlaw card there. The
yeah,
shifters.
the outlaw card is still there. So, I mean, now they're gonna be their normal price, but then their population will be reduced. I still wonder if he's gonna commit into outlaws, but I mean, by the look of it, he's gonna do it. So, I guess it's just about time until we see.
And we'll see how Ungas plays this as well as Brits, whether it's going to be like a standard sort of governor age up that we normally see. It looks like it is obviously the 2 mana start, and we're going to be most likely seeing the governor, I would imagine, age up into some wood.
I just noticed Ungers has Virginia Company. I mean,
yeah, I don't think it's going to. I think it'd be silly to go for it in with a deck that he's picked, because I think the majority of the standard decks do have that in as just an option. But I mean, he hasn't gone for a TP. Normally, when you do that, you want to go for a TP so you can get 3 vil and then you can get VC. before you even get into age 2, so you can get that XP in. So I don't think I'd be very surprised if he does go for it. I think he's just going to go for either 5 vil or 700 wood as a first. I think probably 700 wood, I would say, as a first one.
Meanwhile, Warsword is aging up with the Sudanese. He's chopping wood massively. I suppose he's going to chop wood for double outposts. So basically, all of the outlaw unit will be deploying from the outpost. You can train the outlaws from the African civilization from the outpost. So I wonder if he's going straight away for that, or he's just gonna boom it out, do a slow approach into H3 or not. We'll see that in a second.
So it could go either way. It could have some H2 pressure. Could go for like a 4 tower, kind of just spamming tons of natives and outlaws. And it depends how Unga's going to play. Obviously, he's got the governor, he's got the outpost, he's got some defense, but it depends on the next few cards and what he's going to get, and also how Warsword is going to play this. So, yeah, it looks like, as I mentioned, going straight for the 700 wood. Nice to see. And is that a barracks there next to that gold mine?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so he's got a barracks immediately. Quite a forward position. Hasn't gone behind the TC at all. Same with the outpost as well. So, yeah, maybe want to think about training some units just to be on the safe side here.
700 wood is being played by Warsword. The native embassy is placed in a defensive position, and I don't see any outpost yet from Warsword. He's training the Sudanese right away. 4 Sudanese are being trained, and then aside from that, nothing else is going on. And on the other side, we have Ungars is training the musketeers. You got musketeers already. Okay. 4 muskets are coming in.
Yeah, so it looks like he's just going to be poking around, I imagine, with the musketeers. Just maintaining houses, get his vils up like you normally do. He's going for the 5 vil, which is quite standard, 700 wood, 5 vil. And next one most likely will be 600 wood again, so he can just continue with the mana building, or it may be a unit shipment depending on what he's going to find here. But once again, like with the African civs, it's so difficult to sometimes know what kind of build order or strategy they're going. So especially Warsaw playing such interesting strategies, it's hard to kind of predict what he's going to be going for. But we do see the Sudanese out on the field, and he does have the war camp down as well. And yeah, guess Kenyas are on the way. So going for a good old heavy infantry skirm composition for now, and another war camp. So it looks like he's going to commit quite a bit to H2 here. I'd be surprised if he's going to be aging up anytime soon. He's probably going to be pressuring as much as he can.
Doesn't seem like he's going for the outlaw strat, or at least maybe not just yet. But obviously, the Sudanese and also the Giscanias combination is just a really good unit comp. Going for the 700 coin crate right away. And then the other side, we have Ungus training some longbows. And also, actually, it's shipping the longbows and training some musketeers. And additional long.
Yeah, that's normally quite a standard play, especially if you're going to be getting pressured early in H2, is to kind of just continue producing musketeers and just have that longbow shipment in as well, just so you can deal with any further heavy infantry. It's quite a nice thing to start with, rather than trying to actually produce longbow, because you don't want to be using too much of your wood. You want to use that for mana production and to continue building mana houses.
Yes, if Ungus manage to keep this position just like this, he will be just fine because of the, as you mentioned, because of the mana boom, and also the British economy. I mean, they scale really nicely, while on the other side, Ethiopian economy is not as scaling as British. they just scale slowly, but obviously their units are pretty solid.
Also, it's interesting to see that I think he actually just trained some shotter warriors there as well.
Yeah,
So
Shutter, yeah.
yeah, so really going for a mix here. I don't know whether he's going to be trying to raid, but he's probably noticed that there's a few longbow here from Ungas as well. So having those in is also quite nice to have as well. And it looks like he's also getting a shipment of shotter warriors as well. And here we go, pushing in with the Gascania and the Sudanese. The Dervish, let's see how this goes. He's just going to get straight stuck in here, and he needs to really focus those longbow. There's a lot of longbow there that can easily destroy those Gascanias, and he's going to try and see if he can get stuck in. A nice switch from Ungas and the pot as well. Beautiful timings. Shotter warriors are going to be backing off 100%, and the longbows are still going to be able to do their job. And it's hard to say what's happening here. I mean, Ungas should be having a pretty good defense here.
Yeah, he got a really nice defense on. Oh god,
especially the Hussar
came in clutch.
Unfortunate there for Warsaw, doing a great job at clearing that up. So many longbows still left. Hussars are there as well, and immediately going for a 700 coin shipment. Now, I'm not too sure. Is he going to stay in H2 here and push further, or is he going to think about potentially holding off here and trying to go for an H3? It's hard to say. He's got a wood shipment coming off the back of it, and he's making Hussars, so it says to me he's probably going to stay in H2 for a little bit longer.
Yeah, I mean, that trade from Ungas was really nice. Nice positioning from the Musketeers. Nice switch on the positioning, I would say. He just did a really good job. With the look of it, Warsaw is just massing shuttle warriors, which
it's kind of an interesting thing to do.
Yeah.
Not to, I rarely see that with Ethiopia, like massing them to this extent. Normally, they're just a nice little extra unit just to clear up any skirms or anything like that. But I got a feeling he's maybe going to try and go for a raid here, going around the right side of the map. I mean, that's a lot to raid with, though. And he's got his 600 coin is going to now be coming in. And I'm just trying to understand why he's getting even further gold in. Unless he's going to be training some kind of mercenary units. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not too sure the reasoning behind that.
I mean,
why he's got so much gold.
He's upgrading his food upgrade from the granary, so I suppose he's going to age up very soon. So probably that's the intention behind it. I mean, 7 settlers are already on food. He got decent amount of coin. I mean, enough coin for the age up. I'm not sure why is he forcing the shuttle warriors to fight that.
I don't know. He's forced them onto the Musketeers. Obviously, there weren't many of them there, so doing a pretty good job. But they are going to get snared by the Hussars. He's going to leave a couple behind there and see if he can get away. But the Hussars are coming after them. And that is a lot of Huss, actually, right there for Ungas. And a 6k score lead. Now, look at the eco there. 40... I think that's 46 versus 23 at the moment. 63 military pop against 20. And I think Ungas is all good either. He's quite comfortably, he could age here. But Warsword is on the age up now as well. It's interesting to see Ungas' position here. He is solidly staying in age 2 for now. He's got even more Huss up the top there that he's going to be trying to use to raid.
Look like Warsword is already aging up with the Somalis, and then at the same time he's just training some. Oh my god, those settlers, those poor
that
souls.
is brutal. And I think there's a huge amount of Huss on the way now as well, coming across the map to try and assist here. And that is like 15 Huss here. And are they going to try and just get in on that? If they can. There's not a huge amount of Gascania. I don't think there's even 10 of them. I mean, if you have 15 Hussars or something like that, you could easily overwhelm that. But it looks like he is just going to hold off just for now. Warsword getting into age 3, so he hasn't got a card available. I don't know what his first card would be in this instance, to be honest. In this situation, I am not sure.
What?
But he's going to be
I
going
mean,
back. He's going to be trying to raid and
come
see if he can get them.
on.
And
Oh,
is he going to
God.
overcommit? He's not. He's not. It's
Yeah,
probably
he's
best
not
to.
there.
But he's now got all of his infantry coming up behind now as well. Still a lot of musk and longbow, and wow, that is a force. And Unga's looking really good now to get into that H3. Got perfect macro ready for it, and I think he's just going to retreat back just for now. He's definitely got the military advantage, and it'll make sense to age up, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Unga's Warsword is sending more shuttle warriors.
More shuttle, okay.
I'm
So
not
still
sure if I
committing to the
agree
shuttle, which
with
is
that,
interesting.
to be honest.
I mean, the shuttle are going to try and see if they can get some snares onto the longbow. And, you know, Warsaw are going to continue to push with this. I'm not too sure about this, to be honest. I know he's probably got the upgrades in for the Gasquenya, but, you know, Unga's still in a decent position military-wise, and it will be kind of unfortunate for Warsaw to push in right now.
I guess he just
But
wanted to get some trade before he gets H3 units. I mean, he's trying to just kill as many units as possible because he knows H3 British units is going to be quite scary for him.
Yeah, but I think Warsaw's in a tricky position because he knows he's got to do something. He's probably thinking Unga's is quite comfortable, going to be on the age up, so he needs to make a push and he needs to make it now. But he just doesn't have enough military there to get the job done. And he's really fully investing into those shuttle warriors. I mean, I know there's a lot of longbow on the field there, but, you know, Unga's is just going to make some musks to really defend the longbows. And I think he's going to be in a pretty good situation. Gasquenya on the way for Warsaw right now, but
Oh, God.
this is not looking good at all.
Oh, God.
However, there are some shuttle running towards the fields. They've got to try and scarper as quickly as they can, but it's okay. The musketeers are there for safety. Is this going to be a fight that Warsaw wants to make?
Not really. Not really.
Oh, is it? He's got to do something. Is he going to do it or not? Otherwise, he's going to keep losing too many troops. Shuttle warriors are in, but they're in a really awful place. They're not on the longbow at all.
Oh, my God.
What is Warsaw doing? More longbow coming on the right side as well, and it's just absolutely raining down arrows everywhere. And
That's
Warsaw,
a lost position. That's a lost position.
here we go. Is it the big boy Ungas? Is he going to be getting into that final position of the tournament? I don't know. It's looking pretty damn good for him right now. 8k score difference, 58 fills.
Nope,
versus
not
23.
just yet. Oh my God, look at the food amounts on the map. I mean, it's looking really bad for Warsword. I mean, it's just that
I mean, his eco is just non-existent. 23 vills.
Yeah.
He's struggling to create shots. He's still wanting to create the shuttle warriors. I'm so confused about this choice.
I don't get it. Like, I feel if he just go Neftenia and Gasquenya, or even Neftenia and Javelin, that's just much better. I mean, Africans skirmishers are really strong, really decent. I don't know why is he just committing. Oh
Yeah, we do see the big boy mortar.
mortars.
There it is. The
Can he
Sebastopol's
snipe?
coming in.
Oh God, he should be sniping those falconers though.
Yeah, the Falconets are actually going to be having a few shots at the mortar, and if that mortar goes down, it's going to be very difficult for Warsaw to come back. I mean, that's kind of his only saving grace at the moment. He's got such poor eco at the moment. You know, the military of Ungas is insane. He's got his vet upgrades in, 2 Falcons pushing, and he is definitely feeling pretty damn good about himself
really
right now.
Scary for Warsword.
And we do see some dragoons on the field now, and just continuing with the longbow production. More musketeers rolling in. The whole musketeer batch is coming in. And
No food. No food left.
yeah, this is like double score now. I would be amazed if Warsaw comes back from this in this position.
Yeah,
it is extremely rough. And the Falconets, I think Ungas is prepared to lose one of those Falconets or maybe even both if he just gets rid of the mortar. Because once the mortar's gone, he can clear up the rest. He's got so many longbow and
so many goons
musketeers.
and us.
And he doesn't even care. He's just going to get stuck in the mortar. Say goodbye to the Sebastopol.
That's a GG.
He's going in. Look at a huge surround. Nowhere to run. And Unga's looking pretty damn good here. He's just going to keep going. He's still got 2 Carcanets, and there it is.
GG's.
Big boy Ungas takes it 4-3.
Wow.
And moves to the final against Revnak. Absolutely insane.
So, this is the fight between Ungas and Revnak in the finals. And then gonna be the third placement and fourth placement matchup is gonna be between Warsword and Julian. And then which will be tomorrow. And congratulations to Ungas and well done to Warsword. Until now, there was just really nice strats and build orders that you had, but then I guess the Ethiopia wasn't made to go against British for this game.
Yeah, I've got to say, like, very interesting strategies, interesting civ picks from both as well. Not really seeing the kind of standard civs that we normally see. Of course, we saw China in there being played twice, but seeing both Hausa, Ethiopia, obviously we got the Malta in Italy as well. Just really good to see those civs, especially the Italian mirror. That was really interesting as a first game. And yeah, it's absolute nail biter coming down to 4-3. 7 games out of the best of 7 is definitely what everybody wants to see. And all I can say is I hope that, the finals is even more crazy than these games have been. So it's definitely good to see. And I'm hoping that we get a fantastic matchup in the finals tomorrow, which will be between Revnak and Ungas. And before we go, I just want to say myself to everyone in chat, thank you very much for everyone turning up. Thank you for the donations to ESOC, the follows, the subscriptions, the support. It's been absolutely amazing. And thank you for the opportunity as well to the staff for letting me come on and cast a few of these games. And of course, a big thanks to my co-caster here, Jager. Thank you very much, dude. It's been a pleasure, and hopefully I'll be able to cast with you in the future as well.
Yeah, GG's. And it was indeed a pleasure to cast these games and also having all these amazing people inside the chat. I hope everyone enjoyed every single moment of these games because I did. These games were really close. Both of the semi-final games on both series, we had really close games. Shout out. And also, once again, shout out to Tech Cafe and also Microsoft for sponsoring this and all the donations, subscriptions that were done. So I guess that will be all from me and Widgie. And I hope a very nice evening for everyone. And I guess that will be a goodbye for us.
Unfortunately, it is a goodbye. Thank you very much, everyone. Catch you in the next one for the finals tomorrow. And I hope you guys can be there for that because it's going to be absolutely wild. So have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. And, we'll catch you on ESOC tomorrow for the final between Revnak and Ungas. Catch you guys later. Goodbye.
Bye.